and welcome. I hope that you are all doing well. Thank you so much for joining me here today to talk about books, and we are going to get right into it. The first book I read this month was a book that I placed an order from and then received a copy from the publisher, and I was so glad to get that, and it is The Bitter End by Alexa Donne. It's the book I read to fulfill the prompt to read a closed room or locked room mystery. And that is a book where the possible suspects are limited, in this case because the characters are all snowed in a cabin in the mountains in Colorado. No one can get in, no one can get out. The most well-known of these types of books is probably And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, but certainly her Murder on the Orient Express is another. Let's move on to the story. The students of Warner Prep are going on their senior excursion. So this is where everyone in the school picks a trip that they're going to go on, and then they go away for a certain amount of time. And generally, it's a week or two, and they go to someplace exotic. So the 8 students we meet are headed to a mountain cabin for a digital detox weekend retreat. No cell phones, no laptops, no devices of any kind. Just them, one another, nature, and whatever board games or books or whatever they can find in the cabin they're staying at. Most of them signed up for other trips, more exciting trips, trips to Europe or Yellowstone or Alaska, and they've been reassigned to this one. They think it is a punishment and have no idea why. But with the 8 students that are on the trip, it seems like it must be related to a party that they all attended 3 years before. The Bitter End is told from the viewpoints of 6 of these students, and it takes place in the present at the cabin and with flashbacks to that party from 3 years before. They arrive at the cabin to learn that not only are they turning their devices off for the weekend and handing them over to their counselor who accompanied them, the phones aren't working anyway. There's no signal, so there's no way to cheat and contact somebody else. The students will take turns preparing the meals and cleaning the cabin as well. And while you and I going on a trip might expect that we're going to have to do some cooking or cleaning, many of these students don't cook or clean in their home life, so this completely catches them off guard. The students on the trip are Willa, who believes she is cursed, or maybe she just makes bad decisions. Declan and his girlfriend Eden, both aspiring content creators, although she more successfully than he. Delaney and her so-called boyfriend, Liam, who is anything but perfect. Wyatt, who plays video games all the time and is not sure what he is going to be doing on this trip. Piper, an injured gymnast, and Camille, who was once her teammate, but after that party 3 years before, was taken off the gymnastics team. And at first, it's not too bad. Yes, they missed their devices, but there are other things to do. Explore and ski, read books, play games. When a game they're playing turns spiteful, they call it a night. What they wake up to the next morning is nothing they'd anticipated. A storm has layered the landscape in snow, but that's not the worst of it. One of them has been attacked. Because of the snow, they can't call for help, and it doesn't seem to be letting up any. When the power goes out as well, they know they're in for a long weekend. Because of the snow, they can't call for help, and they can't get out to go for help either. And the snow doesn't seem to be letting up anytime soon. When the power goes out, they know they're in for a long weekend, but hopefully not a deadly one. You will love the creepy atmosphere, the whole time wondering who is after these characters and why. Most of them are deeply flawed. even if they seem nice, they are mostly just keeping the darker side of themselves hidden. The story not only held my attention, but kept me reading till the end because I had to know what was going on. And there was a twist that I didn't see coming. It's no secret that I love this author's writing. I read the book The Ivies in 2021 and enjoyed it very much. She writes privileged high school students so well. What can you read for a similar experience? The Ivies is a good choice if you're interested in more young adult fiction. Another good choice for a follow-up read is Five Total Strangers or Four Found Dead by Natalie D. Richards. They're both locked room mysteries as well. And if you liked the storm aspect of The Bitter End, this one also takes place in a storm, although they're traveling in a car trying to beat the storm. Two Truths and a Lie by April Henry. In this one, they are on a school trip and they have to overnight in a motel because of the snow. But what they discover through a game is that one of them is a killer. If you're wanting adult fiction instead of young adult fiction, I would try In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. So 5 friends are gathered at a cabin for a bachelorette party weekend, but one of them has some sinister plans. And because I do the non-reading prompts as well, this time I was inspired by the book to do an afternoon away from devices as well. So I had a really nice time. I spent the afternoon in the woods and I hiked and did some photography and had a delicious lunch, all in the woods. It was really exciting. And there we are. I hope that you enjoyed this look at The Bitter End and other books to read for a similar experience. And I'll hope you'll join me next time when we will be talking about Death at Morning House by Maureen Johnson. We're going to get both of our YA mysteries taken care of in the first half of the month. So I hope that you will join me then, and until then, I hope that you enjoy all that you do and all that you read. And thank you.